Hey everyone, this is AAZA921,
County 9001 here.
Future Comic 75.
Brave Rabbit.
and we are the Lazy Dreamers.
Hi.
Yep. How's it going?
And we're back for the first podcast of 2013.
Woo!
Yes.
Yay.
Woo. Yes, we're going to do something a little bit different than we normally do because we're going to cover two different topics entirely. And
We do that, kind of. It generally rambles with one topic and then we start bullshitting, but whatever. We have two actual topics.
we're gonna talk about something that was recently brought up, and we're also going to be talking about one of the biggest debates of all time, as of recent.
I really would not call it one of the biggest debates of all time, but whatever.
Well, in terms of video games, yes.
No.
Not a lot of people put stock into the debate, but it is still a debate.
It's definitely a debate. Without a doubt, it's a debate.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So anyway, we're going to talk about the latest news. So, Asa, why don't you inform us about that?
Right. So, I'm going to be talking about the Steam Box, which is a new console/computer that was revealed at CES, Consumer Electronics Show.
How interesting. What does it do?
Don't be a smartass.
Do it.
Right. Okay, so I said a little bit about this before we were recording. Basically, the Steam Box is kind of Valve, the creators of Steam, the program, which is a major fucking program on computers for PC gaming. If you're a PC gamer, you know what Steam is. If you don't, get the fuck out. If you're a PC gamer and don't know what Steam is, you can't call yourself a PC gamer. You really can't.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how the hell you're getting your video games.
Hey, I see somebody leaving.
Bye.
All right.
Anyway.
So Valve wants to break the barriers between computers and consoles. Because Valve is a gaming company. They're a gaming company that make games for gamers because they're gamers.
Games.
Yes. And the Steam Box, like I said, it wants to break the barriers between PC and console. It's a small it's gonna be a small device. It's gonna have different versions from different companies. The main one that's being looked at right now is the Xi3's Piston. And it's a small console. It can fit in the hand of someone with a little bit larger hands. So it's really small. It's smaller than the Xbox 360. It's smaller than the PlayStation 3. The only console I can think of that's smaller than it is the Wii U. The Wii U had no power though. This Steam Box is gonna have a lot of fucking power to it.
Well, the Wii U is actually bigger than the Wii.
Yes.
Did I say Wii U?
You did say
Yes.
Wii U.
I meant
Yeah.
to say Wii. My bad.
Stone him.
No,
Stone the Zealot.
I'll just throw the Wiimote at his head.
Ow.
Flying Wiimote!
You know, if your boyfriend couldn't kick my ass, that wouldn't go too well in your favor. Then again, would your boyfriend kick my ass? Because he knows you would damn well deserve it.
So, what's the topic again?
Anyway. Sorry. So the Steam Box is going to basically be a mix between a console and a PC. It'll be small, portable, and you'll be able to connect it to your TV. You can do that with Steam already with this thing called Big Picture, but I haven't played around with it. I don't know too much about it. I might play around with it a little later. But you can have this Steam Box anywhere in your house. Say you have a TV downstairs, a nice big TV that you have your Xbox or whatever connected to, and you have your computer upstairs.
You have my attention.
Yes.
Yes.
What the Steam Box allows you to do is have the Steam Box downstairs and have Steam on your computer and have games on your computer in your Steam library, and have them play through the Steam box onto your bigger TV screen downstairs. This is nice because it also doesn't require you to have a $1,500 fucking computer to play games. You can have this little Steam box that's probably going to be cheaper than $1,500.
I'm gonna say at least like $300, maybe $400.
Well, if
Yeah.
they want to compete with the other big three in the gaming universe, they got to be around that ballpark of 300 to 500.
Yeah, so it's going to most likely be within that price range.
Yeah.
One big innovative thing about this Steambox is that it's going to be take-apartable. You can take it apart and put new parts in it to make it, put a new video card in it, put more RAM into it, put a new motherboard into it, and they'll be small, specific motherboards so they're not, as big as a goddamn computer.
Sorry to interrupt you, but did you just invent a new word?
What?
Take apartable?
Yeah, I think I did. No, that's the
Damn!
word I use that word every now and again because it just works. It's deconstructible. Does that make you feel better?
Yes.
A little bit.
I do have a vast vocabulary, but remember, I'm pandering to the audience.
Yes.
Speaking of the audience, sorry to get you off topic. Didn't you talk about earlier before we were recording about how you can upgrade it?
Yes, that's what I was about to get into. That's what I was getting into, actually. You can upgrade it with new parts. So you can put a new video card in it. You can put a new CPU in it, more RAM, or new RAM, faster RAM. Because, yes, RAM has speeds.
Yes.
That's
I mean-
one big issue people have with RAM is they'll put more RAM in their computer, like they'll upgrade from 2 gigs to 4 gigs, but they'll put slower RAM in their computer, and it actually makes their computer slower.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, if Valve keeps the reputation that they're going, they're probably not going to make it past 2 consoles.
They don't make a third game.
Yes.
that is so far true.
Yes.
It does give it an upper hand in comparison to some of the other consoles in that respect.
But
Oh,
yeah,
yeah, I definitely know a few people who would be very interested in this console because they'd be able to take their PC games and just play it on their TV.
Yeah.
The only issue I can see with it is if you're really a hardcore PC gamer, how would you be able to take that transition from PC controls to console controls?
very
'cause
easily,
for
because
my-
you can
for my
use both.
For my example, I switched from Portal 2 on PlayStation, and then I moved over, and then I got it on my laptop from Steam. And the PC controls were, I had to get used to it for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the same thing with me when I was used to playing Mega Man 9 on the Wii,
Right.
and then
well, that's one
because
thing
it was like
I wanna bring up.
standard Mega Man controls back then. Then I adjusted to when I got Street Fighter Cross Mega Man on my laptop, and I just wasn't used to the PC controls.
Right. Well, that's one thing I want to bring up is that you can use both. You can use a controller, or you can use a keyboard and mouse with it. So there doesn't actually have to be a transition in between the differences of using a keyboard and a mouse. You can a keyboard and mouse and a controller. You can use whichever your preference is.
Kind of like using the GameCube controller for Super Smash Bros. Brawl instead of the Wiimote.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah. Which I'm gonna get annoyed by having doing that again on my Wii because I transferred all my shit to my Wii U, so I have to do Brawl and Mario Kart Wii again just for people to get GameCube controls so they wouldn't complain.
Yeah. I really didn't think about that much about mentioning it because right now what's going on a lot with a lot of games on Steam and a lot of these bigger AAA games and whatnot is you can actually plug a USB controller in to your computer and play the game with a controller instead of using a keyboard and mouse if that's your preference.
Well, yeah.
So I didn't really mention it because I am a PC gamer, haha, I'm a master, PC master gaming race.
I mean, like, I'm not saying like that's a problem, but what I'm saying is like for me personally, since I don't own like a PS3 or an Xbox 360, so I don't have a USB controller. Like the only controllers I would have are game controllers, but I know there's an attachment that you can buy on Amazon that you can use things like GameCube controllers, Xbox controllers, or PS2 controllers.
Just get a new controller. It going from controller to controller isn't that big of a transition. It's like a 3-second figure out. Now going
Because
from
most controllers follow the same format. You got your 4 buttons over here. You got your L and R buttons over here. You got
Well,
your,
the
you know,
game
you got
controller
your
has
analog
more.
sticks there. You got your D-pad here.
got your home button right here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of the controllers now. I mean, a lot of them seem the same. Look at a PlayStation 2 controller or a PlayStation 3 controller, and look at an Xbox 360 controller. They look fairly similar when you think about it.
Same for
Fundamentally-
GameCube controller, actually, because of the dual stick parts.
Yeah,
Fundamentally, they're the same thing. The only difference is they named the buttons differently.
yeah,
Hmm.
and I mean, so
PlayStation
there's not
Well,
really.
Xbox has Y.
Yeah, there shouldn't be a huge problem between going from one controller to another controller to another controller, because they're all roughly the same thing. The only way I could see there being a problem is if you're going from like a 360 controller to a Wii U controller with the big ass screen in the middle and whatnot.
Agreed.
That is an issue for me. I've done a demo of the Wii U, and just switching from screen to screen, that is a bit of an issue for me.
Yeah.
Now,
So-
people will
Well,
go-
there are some games like the New Super Mario Bros. U where you can just focus on the one screen the entire time. So it's not that big of an issue.
Yeah. So
Yeah, but that cuts off. Like, I don't know how much of the library cuts off, but it does cut off few games.
Yeah.
For somebody like me who can't handle the 2-screen thing.
it does. Like,
Yes, there are games where you do have to watch both screens.
Yeah, I mean, so that would cut off, say, that one of the newer games. What is it? It's Zombie U. You have to use both screens in that game. Now, both screens are vastly different. I mean, you don't have to look at the. You don't have to keep switching between screens because with Zombie U, you have like your inventory and a map on the controller, and then you got all the stuff coming on the screen.
It's kind of like a Nintendo DS in that case.
In a way, yeah.
Yeah.
I can see it
Yeah.
working for somebody like me for Zombie U, because from my understanding, I haven't done a demo or anything.
Yeah,
I
neither
just
have I.
Actual- from my understanding, you just look at the touch screen as like a sniper scope.
There's that. There's a few other things like it's got a map, and you can, I don't know, do this thing that people call pinging or something, which to
Yeah.
me as a computer guy means something completely different than what they're doing. When I think
Yeah,
of
well,
pinging, I think
also in Nintendo Land, you can focus on either screen. Like, it doesn't matter what the game is. Like, I know one of the mini games that's like the Ninja one. Yes, you do have to focus on 2 different screens, but you can primarily focus on your TV.
yeah,
You mean the
Um,
Fruit Ninja?
No,
Yes.
not Fruit Ninja.
Not Fruit Ninja. It's
It's
the
a
Ninja
different
mini game in
Oh,
Nintendo
sure
Land.
it is.
Right.
It's like I forget what the characters. It's like Taka something. I forget what it was.
but anyway, if
Well-
I can get back to the Steam box now.
Yes, please do.
Stop that.
Let's see, where was it? Right. So you can upgrade it, and you can use a preference between keyboard and mouse or a controller. The way the Steam box will work, though, is through the internet. It's going to download the games off your Steam library through the internet onto the Steam box, I think. There's not exactly a whole ton of information out there about it. This is my speculation on what they're gonna do. Is that it's just gonna talk to Steam servers through the internet and download what games you want to download. I'm assuming it's gonna have its own specific operating system. I believe they actually did mention a little bit about the operating system. It's supposed to be a Linux-based operating system. How true that is, though, I mean, anything can change. They have they have small prototypes right now. That's it.
From one of their
Why
big-
Linux though?
Because Linux is good.
It's just I don't hear a lot of people talking about Linux. It's usually either Mac or PC.
Well, yeah, that's true.
This is a big commercial.
Linux is a little bit easier to work with, especially when it comes to creating operating systems for specific things.
Okay.
Yes, you do hear a lot about Mac OS X and, Windows operating systems. And they're good for PCs, but Linux is good for real specific stuff. Like, a lot of phones, I could be wrong on this, but I'm pretty sure, Androids and, phones that aren't the Windows Phone and aren't the iPhones, most of those are a Linux variant.
Going back to the internet connection you were talking about, how the Steambox is going to have its own internet server. Is that what you were saying?
Well, no, Steam has its own servers with your games on it.
Well, it's going to run with its own. The Steambox itself is going to run with its own internet server to connect to the internet and whatnot.
Well, it's going to have its. I assume it's going to have wireless internet adapters, and you can, just plug an Ethernet cord into it, an internet cord into it.
Well, the reason I'm
to
bringing
get
that,
internet.
the reason I'm bringing that up is because a lot of the big issues with gamers, I've actually walked into a GameStop and heard people complaining about this: internet connections, the online connections people can have with the games when they're doing their online matches or whatever. I literally heard people complaining about PlayStation Network's online.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if they can make that work, that can be another huge selling point for them.
Knowing Valve, they will probably make it work. Because, like I said, Valve, while yes, they want to make money, they're more about the gamers and more about the games and more about having a fun experience. They're actually putting a lot of money into researching this. One thing people need or should know about the creator of Valve and Steam, Gabe Newell, is he's a true heart gamer.
That's good.
He's a gamer.
Care to explain that in a little more detail?
Yes, I can. You guys know what the Half-Life series is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a reason Half-Life 3 isn't out yet. And it's because Gabe Newell says, no, it's not good enough. It's not good enough for the public. It's not a good enough game yet. Make it a better game. And that's how he is with most of his games. If it's not good enough for him, it's not good enough for the gamers in the world.
So he sees himself as a standard, bar standard.
Yes and no.
What you're saying is, if I'm interpreting you correctly, he won't release a game that he wouldn't play himself.
Exactly.
Ah.
That's what I'm saying. He will not release a game he wouldn't play.
Mm-hmm.
Which is what any true gamer would do.
Speaking of games you wouldn't play, I don't know how much of this is a segue is, but who wants to introduce our next topic?
Yeah, sure, it's about time.
Yeah, what the debate's going to be that we're going to have is Smash Brothers versus PlayStation All-Stars. Or, as I like to call it, PlayStation All-Stars, Sony Smash Brothers.
Allow me- I think it's good if I start off with a little bit of history, or if somebody starts off. Does anybody want to go through the Smash Brothers history, since that's really what...
I will do that because I know a lot about it. Originally, Smash Brothers was not going to be Smash Brothers in general. It was going to be actually a game called Dragon Fighter King, which didn't have any Nintendo characters in it. And originally, Smash Brothers, the way it is now, it was a demo for that game, but then they liked the idea of having Nintendo characters fight, so they went along with the ride. And so, thus, we got Smash Brothers in 1999, which featured 12 characters in it, which have been in all three games so far, which consists of Mario, Luigi, Ness, Kirby, Samus, Yoshi, Donkey Kong, Pikachu, Jigglypuff, Captain Falcon. Is there anyone I'm missing?
Isn't Luigi
Yes, you're
in
missing.
them all?
You didn't say Fox McCloud
Oh yeah, Fox. Yeah, Fox is in it.
And Link.
and Link.
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 Oh, Link. How could I forget Link?
How could you forget Link?
How could you forget Link?
Link of all people.
The hell
I'm
is
sorry,
wrong
but
with
it's
you?
been a while since I played the original Smash Brothers.
So that's how Smash Brothers began to be what it is, and as Nintendo went on to its next generations of GameCube, Wii, it decided to run with this idea and expand it. I've heard originally they didn't think that game was going to sell. It was just some
No.
data they threw together and thought, okay, let's see what happens here. And the game loved.
Sakurai originally didn't think that Americans would like it, but it turns out that we proved him
We
wrong.
fucking loved
and
it.
exactly.
And from there,
I mean, and also originally, from what I heard in the original Smash Bros, there were going to be more characters, but were taken out because of cartridge limitations, which would have been Mewtwo, Bowser, Peach, and there was a couple of other characters. I think King Dedede, and I don't know who else off the top of my head. I think Meowth was one.
and those characters would become playables in the later games. I really think.
Well, except for Meowth. Meowth's the only
Except
one
for
of the
Meowth.
list that didn't. Meowth's the only one of the list of characters that were going to be in the game originally. Didn't make it as a playable character at all.
Me.
And I really think that in Melee, that's really where they got their. That's really where they made the game actually work as a game.
Yeah. I mean, with the problems that happened with the original, it's forgivable because it's the first one and it was on the N64. But
Yeah.
there were some problems with with Melee that Brawl just improved on with the controls.
Oh, most definitely. Like trying to do a smash move. Like
Working
having
with-
to flick the control stick and press the A button at the same time. In Brawl, if you use the GameCube controller, all you need to do is use the C stick instead for an instant smash move.
Well, you can do that in Melee too, but like what I'm saying is the controls are a little bit more slippery in Melee than it is in Brawl.
Like the point that was mentioned earlier, he didn't think it was going to sell originally, and then as the later generations came around, they really needed to expand that game
They
so
needed to
that
make
it
it
could be
better.
more of a playable game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you played the original Smash Brothers and compared that to Melee, they're two like completely different games control-wise.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Well,
Yes,
they're
big
also
time.
two completely different controllers too.
Yeah,
Admittedly.
that is very true.
Yeah.
Because Nintendo 64 controllers were made for anthropomorphic beings with 3 hands and half
And
a
half a foot.
Yes. And then of course 2008 came around, and that's when we got Brawl, which of course I remember the day when Sonic was announced. October 17th, 2007, the day the internet almost died.
For the
Why?
first
'Cause
time.
Sonic's in a fucking Nintendo game?
Yes. Sonic is in
Sega
Brawl.
is dead.
Sonic is in Super Smash Bros. Brawl.
I know he is.
Yeah.
There
Why-
were also
why are people
various
having a
other
bitch fit
games
about it?
featuring Sonic that were released.
No, what I'm saying is that October 17th, 2007, the day the internet almost died, that's when he was announced.
I don't think the internet almost died, Joe. I think you're overplaying it a bit.
Well, going
Well,
on,
I'm saying like a lot of people freaked out about it. Like, both good and bad.
Because people are retarded.
well,
Some
going
are.
further on into the top.
No, people are retarded. A person is smart, but people are retarded.
Can I
Yes.
go on further?
Yes.
Thank
Very
you,
sorry.
Agent K.
Anyway, Sony looked at this concept and thought, that's a good idea. Let's do it for our things. And thus PlayStation All-Stars was born. Now, this is where the debate begins.
Yes.
We've already heard a little bit from the Nintendo side. Would anybody like to make their points?
Smash Brothers is better.
On the Nintendo side, who wants to make their points?
That's an opinion,
Well-
actual points, facts.
Nintendo actually has a bit of a running history with their Super Smash Brothers franchise. Therefore, people who have played the original game or Melee actually are going to return for Brawl.
Well, here's the thing. Sony can also expand on their thing. Like, they can come out with sequels too. That's not too much of an issue.
Yeah, however, how many more games and what new characters would be there? With Nintendo,
Well-
they're iconic. People
That's up-
Yes,
recognize
I was just gonna say that. Like with Nintendo with Smash Brothers, the characters are more iconic than it is with PlayStation All Stars because, like most of the characters, it's like you would have to have known what game they're from in order to recognize them.
Yeah,
With
for
Nintendo-
example, Sir Daniel.
Yeah,
Do not
Or
bash on
Kratos.
Sir Daniel.
Don't bash Sir Daniel.
I
He's
Or
a fucking
Kratos or
tank.
Sackboy.
Medieval games were awesome.
Yes, they were. They were the
or
shit back in the
Kratos
day.
or Sackboy or Sweet Tooth. Like you would have to know the games they're from in order to actually play them in order to recognize any of them.
That's
On the
true.
flip side of things, I never played any Fire Emblem games, and one of my favorite characters in Brawl is Ike.
Yeah,
Yes.
I actually didn't know where Ike was from.
Games were actually specifically Japan only until about 2007, where
Marth is the only.
2005,
Yeah.
2005, because that's when Path of Radius came out.
Also, Cody,
yes, thank you.
you said that that Nintendo is iconic. Well, you know what? Sony's pretty iconic too. Pretty much all of the characters in the Sony All Stars
I reckon.
are iconic characters that people do know. The only one that people really don't know is the fucking cat thing, and that's
Toro.
and that's Sony's mascot. Everyone else, people generally know. Like they don't know they don't know Sir Daniel's name, but they know, hey, the main character of Medieval. They know Nathan Drake. They know who Raiden is, or Raiden, or whatever you want to call him. They know who the Tekken guy is. I forget his name.
Hihachi.
Hihachi, they know who that he is. They know who Sweet Tooth is, because Sweet Tooth has been a character for over 10 years in the Twisted Metal games. There's a lot of Twisted Metal games. Who else is there? There's
Ratchet and Clank.
there's
Jack
Ratchet
Dexter.
and Clank, Dexter. They're all very iconic characters that I know. I'm not the hugest Sony fan, and I know every character in the game except for the cat guy. And I know who he is now because of the game.
I'm just disappointed that they didn't bring Crash Bandicoot in the game.
Crash Bandicoot is a shared property.
Yeah,
Just like Banjo and Kazooie.
yeah.
Well, no, Banjo Kazooie is owned by Microsoft.
Rare, which
Owned
they
by
bought out
Microsoft.
Rare.
Currently owned by Microsoft.
Yes, but I heard a rumor that Nintendo's trying to buy back Rare. So
Yeah, I heard that too.
Have fun with that.
I really hope that it's true.
It's fucking Microsoft. They have a lot of money.
Well, going back on topic, another point that I really like, it's a little bit, not a lot of people might see it as a big thing, but it's one of those fundamental issues. PlayStation All-Stars has a jump button.
This is true. I
Well,
love me a
there are
fucking. I
plenty
love me a
times
fucking
in-
jump button.
There are
well,
plenty-
so does Smash Brothers.
No, it
Allow
does.
me to
You
go
push up to jump. How many times have you tried to do an up attack and you ended
No,
up...
no. They do
Nothing.
have a jump button, X and Y on the game controller. Those are jump buttons.
And that, but still, you also jump with the up directional pad. There have been plenty of times where I tried to do an up attack and he just jumped,
And it's like, motherfucker, I said do an attack, not jump.
which is a
Well,
big issue.
Well,
Yeah,
in
yeah, but
Brawl,
jump.
in Brawl, you can turn the tap jump off.
I've never seen that option.
You go to-
ever shown me that option.
You go to options and like you go under like one of your tag name. You can turn the jump button off for that tag.
And how was I supposed to find this out other than you telling me?
The
And how
instruction
the fuck
guide.
do you
Wait.
know?
You play the game.
I did play the game.
A lot.
You look through all sorts of things. You actually go through and dig through all of the options and all of the extras that are in the game.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's what I have to say. That's why I don't play around with the options thing.
Very true.
And if I have to-
and if it's a video game and it's broke, you probably shouldn't play it because it's probably shit.
And if that's something I have to do, why is that an option in the first place?
Well, I don't know, because I think they figured, because of the fact that a lot of people probably complained about the tap jump, they allow you to be able to turn the tap jump off. I know some people might like it, some people might not. It's really a personal preference thing.
Well, when you actually have a jump button, you can control when he jumps, and you don't have to worry about any kind of control mishap. Well, that's another thing I like about PlayStation All-Stars. The air combos there that they have are pretty cool looking. One of the characters, Dante.
Dante, yeah, everybody knows who Dante is, even if it's the newer one that people tend to not like. Personally, I think he looks fine. Sorry.
Well, he's a pretty combo-heavy character, and I really like getting the air combos on him. It just looks so cool, and you can control it more in that game. In the Smash Brothers games, you just continuously fall, which that's more of a skill kind of thing. If you can handle it, great. If you can't, why are you complaining about it?
Well, actually, the trip mechanic wasn't introduced until Brawl.
I'm not talking about tripping. I'm talking about when you're in the air and you're falling back down to the platform.
Yeah, that's true. But
PlayStation All-Stars, you don't have that. When you're doing a combo in the air, you just stay in the spot where you are, which I think would appeal to newer gamers. Then again, if you have an issue with falling to the platform, why are you complaining about that? You just suck.
Yes, exactly.
I'm just saying, it's more aesthetically pleasing from my eyes. I don't know about anybody else. I just think it looks cool.
No, a game looking cool is actually a very big factor in whether it's good or not. Believe it or not. A game looking cool can give it all the success, sadly.
But another issue that is a factor in this debate is the kill moves in PlayStation All-Stars.
Oh, God.
Kind of the fence about that. I mean,
yeah,
it's weird because if that's the only way you kill points, it's a little lame, and it's just not really something a lot of people would fundamentally base fighting games on. But at the same time, it adds a hint of strategy to it. Like, you can't just go all Rambo about it. You have to know what the attack is, when's your opportunity to use it.
Also note, they all look fucking badass.
Yeah.
And some of them...
But at least with Smash Brothers, you can kill people without having to rely on the Smash Ball.
Yeah, that's
exactly.
But one issue I have with that, a lot of characters in that are really cheap when it comes to the Smash Ball. Not overall gameplay, because we can complain about Meta Knight all we want.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
However, going back to the Smash Ball moves,
Yeah,
the Final Smash,
I was going to get into that.
Luigi is definitely one of the ones that I've heard a lot of complaints about.
I was just going to complain about that. Not only is his Smash, like, it's kind of weird, doesn't really fit in with his character. He's just Mario's sidekick, and it's just like this weird negative energy ball thing. And not only that, one hits, and he gets it. He hits the Smash Ball one time, and it's his. That's annoying to me.
Really? I've
Bullshit.
never noticed that.
Every time I play, and Luigi's there, he hits the ball one freaking time, and he gets it.
Well, I know, like, the Smash Ball originally was supposed to be in the original game, but, again, because of cartridge limitations, they couldn't have it.
But that's just me being a whiny bitch about it. I just needed to get that off my chest.
Yeah, we can all be whiny bitches about a lot of stupid shit in a lot of video games.
But that does bring up another thing that might be worth talking about: cheap characters.
Yeah, that's always
Cheap
worth talking
the cheap character in Smash Bros., especially Brawl, is Meta Knight.
Oh, definitely.
The counterpart would be Kratos.
Yeah, Kratos is fucking
He's
crazy.
just overpowered as hell.
Yeah.
I actually heard that Sackboy was overpowered.
He also Sackboy, yes. And he's one of those characters. He's kind of weird to control. He's got a very limited range in one kind of attack, but it's totally different with his other types of attacks. And it's just a character you got to get used to, and that gives the AI an advantage when they're playing as Sackboy because they already know what they're going to do. So Sackboy's really annoying to fight.
Okay.
Cheap, 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 cheap.
All right.
So, who would you compare Sackboy to in Nintendo?
That's a good question. Sackboy's really just he lays traps a lot. That's his big thing.
Ah, so more like Snake.
Yeah.
That would be a good thing. Raiden actually is not the Snake character. He's one of those. He's more like Marth actually. Like he'll rush in with his sword and his sword leg,
Yeah.
and he'll just stab and slash the fuck out of you.
See, Raiden after in the Metal Gear Solid lore and shit, after the second one, when he becomes the robot cyborg thing that he is, he's not a sneaky character at that point. He's a run in and chop motherfuckers up character.
But yeah, overall, where does everybody stand on this?
I'd still stick with Smash Brothers, mainly because I'm familiar with it more likely than PlayStation All Stars. I mean, I'm not saying that it's a bad game, but it's just I like familiarity more than I do with something that seems to be like a clone than anything else.
I have to agree. Also, I'm very used to the controls for Super Smash Bros. So, another point of familiarity right there.
I can see where you guys are coming from with this. When I did the demo for All Stars, I tried to press the shield button. I had no idea where it was. I was pushing like the R2 button for a shield, thinking that was the shield and trying to do a shield roll. Little do I, it's right over on the exact opposite side of the controller.
However, if you're using a GameCube controller for Brawl, it's both the left and the right.
Either one works, yes. Yeah, I can see where you're coming from with the familiarity. Really, I'm on the fence about it because they're both really good games and they both have their own unique strategy. Yes, Sony got the idea. It's arguable that Sony got the idea from Smash Bros, but they really made it its own style and its own separate game. Like, they're not exact clones.
Especially since copyrights and whatnot.
Oh god, copyright laws are bullshit.
Sopa!
Oi. That's a podcast for another day.
So, is there anything you want to say on the topic?
Not a PC game. PC Master Race for the win. No.
PC All Smash.
Yeah. Oh god. Do you know how many characters would be in that game? Like 4 million?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's from Team Fortress 2.
A lot of them would be Valve characters, yes. No, but
watch, there's somebody from Farmville for God knows what reason.
No,
That's
real
Facebook.
PC games, not that
That's
Farmville
Facebook.
app bullshit.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Anyway, neither game is better than the other. If you like one game, that's your opinion. If you like the other game, again, it's your opinion. What's that old opinion saying? I forget.
Opinions are like assholes. Everybody has one and they stink.
Yeah. That works. Both games are good in their own right. Both games are bad in their own right.
Agreed.
Some games are flawed in one area, or All Stars is flawed in one area where Smash Brothers succeeds and vice versa.
Yes.
It's they're both decent games. They're both fun party fighters because they're both really just party games.
Yeah.
They really are.
Yeah, I mean, why else would they be so popular at lounges for college students like ourselves?
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
They are insanely popular.
That was a brawl tournament at the school. Enough said.
Exactly. And I guarantee there will be probably another Brawl tournament, and there'll probably be an All-Stars tournament, too,
I definitely see that.
Yeah.
The games work. Functionally, they work. Functionally, they're pretty good.
Overall, it doesn't really matter which system you prefer, whether it's Nintendo, PlayStation, PC, or what have you.
Yeah. The
We're
main
all-
idea is their games. Have fun.
We're all gamers, and we all stand up to one message, to one evil force. The statement, games cause violence.
That's complete and utter bullshit.
People say games cause violence, but I say not having my games is making me pretty fucking violent.
Perhaps that should be a podcast for another day.
I was going to say, thank you, Alucard.
Yes.
When I say not having my video games makes me pretty fucking violent. Oh, I can't do the voice right, but I have not a bad one.
Heh.
It's not great, but it's also not bad either.
Well, I say not having my video games is making me pretty fucking violent.
See, I would do that just to fuck with politicians.
Just for the sake of doing so.
So would you say that's the podcast?
We can. I mean, is there?
Anything else to talk about?
I mean, I do want to mention that for anyone that doesn't know, there were two people from Bohemia Interactive who were arrested by the Greece government, and they were released about a week ago or a few days ago on bail, and that's pretty good. That now they're back in their home country and with their family, and they were in jail and in solitary confinement or something for like 130 days.
Wasn't it like some kind of espionage thing?
Yeah, they were on vacation and they were taking pictures, and in the background happened to be a military base that the Greece government was saying was
Top secret?
was secret or something. Oh, and the funniest part about that is you can go on Google fucking Maps and get a satellite goddamn photo of it.
You mean that secret base?
Yeah,
That one right
fucking
there?
there?
So all your base belong to us.
Yeah. But no, it's good. If you guys don't know, Bohemia Interactive are the guys who made Arma 2 and are currently making Arma 3. Two games that if you don't know, Arma 1 is getting Arma 2 is getting a lot of hype due to the free mod that somebody made for it called DayZ. It's a very good mod. Well, it's not actually a very good mod. It's a very shitty game, but it's a fun mod. It's not exactly good, but it's free, so it's good for something that's free.
Yeah, and there are a lot of free games that, well, in all honesty, do suck.
Yeah. And actually, the guy who's making DayZ right now is making a standalone that was actually supposed to be out in late 2012. Obviously, he didn't make that.
I'd like to see somebody complain about a free game. I want my money back. It's free.
But
Good
anyway,
thing, sir.
the reason the standalone was pushed back is because he's actually making a whole new DayZ game. He was originally just gonna improve the mod, But no, now he's making his own game with its own engine, which thank God, because the Arma 2 engine is a shitty fucking broken ass engine that sucks so much. It's like
You're
the
not
Whore
biased,
of Babylon, damn it.
So I'm getting the distinct impression that you might not like this engine.
Agreed.
It's a very, very
It's a slight possibility that you might dislike this one specific engine.
yes, it's really bad. Anyway, so I wanted to mention that as, you know, a hooray for those guys getting released and that they're home now. It's very nice. And it's very fucked up what the Greece government did. Greece or Greek government, whatever the fuck it is. It's very messed up what they did, and it's complete bullshit. I don't know why they did it. I think they just wanted to be assholes to the Czech Republic or something.
So they want it to be Greek.
Yeah.
Silence.
Yes.
Sorry, my brother sent me a text message.
Perhaps mobile games should be another subject for another day.
We could, although I don't recognize mobile games. Well, okay, that's debatable. I don't recognize
It's a
iPhone
podcast for another
games
day.
and iPod games as actual games. But anyway, yeah, we can do that as another topic later, maybe. All right.
Yep.
So, unless anyone else wants to bring anything up, I'm done.
Likewise.
Same.
I'll just keep you guys in suspense. Yeah, seriously, I'm done.
All right. Well, I'm AAZA921.
Code 9001.
Future comic.
And Rave Rabbit.
We are the Lazy Dreamers, and here's to another maybe successful podcast.
Hopefully.
Keyword maybe.
We'll see you guys later.
Bye.
See ya.